What is inductive and deductive method? That's a very popular word in science. Deductive and inductive method. Bacon's name is taken in inductive method. What is inductive method? When we talk about inductive method, then we see first of all everything around you, and everything around you just affect you. How these all things affect you, you try to understand. What are these? How these works? How they affect? And everything you uniquely understand, part by part. Then you gradually come to synthesize these all the things. You collect these all facts together and you integrate it, and you again break down it into another form. You try to convert it into another form, and you finally come to a conclusion. You come to a principle. You come to a theory, and you come to the law and discovery, and you construct finally a formula that is scientific. So F is equal to ma is a formula, or E is equal to mc square is a formula. Then we tell about each and every facts, that is a force. We try to understand how we walk, and how we get tired, and where we need power and force to take up anything, how we can displace anything, what are the requirements to displace anything. Just like if you want to move our bottle on the table, then we try to stretch our nerves to that. And in this stretching, there is a force, there is a stretch. That stretch is in the form of force. When we walk, we try, we become tired because of something is attracting, and something is restricting, which is underground. We don't understand it. So each and every element in this way, we try to understand what is gravitation, what is friction, what is attraction, and what is repulsion. So these all the forms are in one or another way a force, or the type of force. So how we can measure it? What are the components involved in it? So ma, that is mass into acceleration. What is acceleration? We first of all, the rate of change of velocity, that is the acceleration. But what is velocity? We try to understand velocity, rate of change. Okay, the speed we try to understand first. And what is the time? Again we understand. What is the distance? We understand. Then we can understand the time and distance relationship. So from F is equal to ma, Newton's second law, we just have come back to the time and time speed relationship. So first of all, we try to understand how time is related with the speeds, how velocity is related with the distance. Then we come later on to the force. So in this way, we just start from the point where you are sitting and standing now. If you start if you start your research work right from the standing point, then this is the work of induction. It means you have nothing around yourself, but you have everything around yourself. It means if you think that you have nothing, it means you cannot imagine everything. You cannot see anything. But if you think in the vacant itself that you have everything, then you can imagine everything. And this is the way to develop your scientific thinking. And if you start your scientific thinking, Then you try to understand each and every macro elements, just like TV or cap or a concrete, haze, lights, sound, everything whatever you see around yourself. You just start from that point, and you gradually understand how one thing is related to another one. And in this way, you can understand one's association with others. And in this way, you just establish a relationship between one object to another object. You establish a relationship between one physical quantity to another physical quantity. And in this way, you construct and you formulate a formula. So this is the way of inductive method. So inductive method is a very higher level method which is generally applied by a scientist, which is applied by a research scholar in higher education students, because we try to understand first of all facts and data. We collect that data, we integrate that data, we analyze that data, we verify that data, we test hypothesis. We after testing hypothesis, we try to find out finding. Before finding, we try to understand its reliability. We again regret after validity, and again we establish its uh, standardization. We finish our standardization, then we create the tool. So this is the process of induction. It means you had nothing, but you have at last something, and finally everything. So when you walk from nothing to everything, then this is the process of induction. We come from outside to the center. We come from examples to generalization. Generalization means conclusion. Conclusion means inference. Inference means extract. Extract means inference. Okay. So inference, we come after analysis, after wandering, and after observations of large number of things. So this is the way of induction in which you become scientist, and you discover, you start thinking, and imagination, your imagination become very broad, and you have a large number of things in the universe, and you start associating everything. You become mad after that. You become mad, totally mad, after thinking about every of the stimulus around you, and you will be not be sleeping at night after thinking that. Because if you start thinking association, then you will never end up your associating minds, because mind is so much frequent that it will be continuously associating one thing to another one. You will be comparing one thing to another one. So after comparing, after analyzing, and after synthesis, you come to the conclusion and inference, and finally you develop your principle, laws, theories, and formula. So such is the process of induction. And what is the deduction process? Deduction process, deduction method is that which is just reverse to the induction process. So we don't need to explain it in detail. You directly understand it by understanding inductive methods. You just uh, you just meet a formula. You directly meet, or you enable the students to meet a formula. You enable the students to remember a particular formula and a law or principle. Then the students become able to remember that and recall it, then apply it for examples, and they try to understand, they try to solve any problem with examples. Just like if you put any formula of mathematics or biology or physics before a student, then student directly remember it first, and after remembering, at the time of remembering, they don't understand how it was constructed, how much effort had been made after its construction, this formula. It means students don't understand the process of formulating, but they simply use it. So this is the process of use. You just use any tool, you just use any law, any principle, any theory. It means you are just running through deductive process. If you are not formulating any new formula, if you are not collecting any data, it means you are not running through inductive, but you are running through deductive. So if you start by taking others' contribution on your hand and you use it and make another thing, then it means you are just deriving. You are running under derivation and construction of examples. So you start from center. You start with some scientist. It means you adopt some scientist, scientific contribution. Just like Newton's first law, second law, third law, you adopt it. You take their formula in your hand, then you start working and making examples, and you start illustration. So if you want to use illustration skill, it means deductive method is very good method for illustration. If you are mathematical students, students of mathematics, then deductive method is very good method for lower classes, in which students find first of all formula remembered, and they use that formula to solve the specific problem what you give in your classroom. So this is the way how you can understand deductive methods. So if you may be thinking about, is it teacher centered or child centered, then inductive process is of course a higher level thinking. It implies higher level of your thinking, and deductive method does not necessarily apply higher level of thinking and process of synthesis, but this is totally dependent upon implication. So deductive method makes you implement, and inductive method makes you invent, because inductive method you synthesize, analyze and come to the conclusion, but in deductive method you just start from reducing it, you start from deriving it. Okay, so you deducing, if you are deducing something, if you are deducting something, minusing something, or diffracting something, breaking something, it means you are undergoing the process of deduction. Deduction means reduction. Reduction means decreasing. Okay, so you just broke down the whole part into parts and you come to the units. And on the other hand, in inductive method, you take all the parts and you collect it and construct finally whole thing. Just the process is reverse. So this is the way how you can compare between inductive and deductive methods. So both the methods are very famous and popular in the field of science. And of course, these are the two formulas, two methods which are highly applicable in physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. And these are the methods are generally used in research, irrespective of your subject. In the field of research, it does not mean that which subject you have, because research itself is a process of induction and deduction. If you are doing, if any students of Hindi or English is doing any research work, it means he is undergoing the process of induction, because they will be collecting data first of all, gathering data, after integrating they will be coming to the conclusion. That's all.